Right. Just waiting for this to go live. 12th. Okay. Right. I just thought I'd go over something that I haven't actually seen a video on yet quite that covers this. So I thought I might as well do something. And the reason it's this picture is because this is one of three pictures in a row that I did this on. And it worked okay. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it worked okay. In this picture, we've got a football player, and then we've got this pole sticking out the top here. Now, when you're photographing sports, there's nothing much you can do about things like this other than not take the photograph. But thanks to the advances in Photoshop, etc., these are normally quite easy to get rid of. So I'll flick this over to Photoshop. Oops, hang on. Helps if I'm on the right, got the right screen activated. Now, I'll zoom in a bit because I'm only interested in that top bit. I've done all the other things I needed to do in this picture. Now, normally, sometimes I'll do a couple of layers. Sometimes people would go, for instance, select, and you might select this and go delete and fill selection. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. It's screwed up a bit there, to say the least. Control Z. The other option you could do is content aware, and it might do okay, but we can see from this that it doesn't. There's a straight line there, so we won't do that. The one now most of the time you would go straight to generative AI to fix that, and it'd do a damn good job. But if you do a lot of editing and you tend to use generative AI a fair bit, there is a point, depending on your account, where your generations become a little bit slow after 100 or couple of hundred or whatever it is, depending on your account. So you want to keep the number of uses down. Now, what I've found is I've got this selected. What I've found works quite well is using the select tool and the remove tool together. Now you can feather the edge of this. So if I go select, modify, feather, 3 pixels will do. Then by brushing over it, a selection like this, the selection is restricting where the remove tool is going to actually change anything, but it still looks outside all this here. It still looks at this and looks at this, even though it's only changing this bit in here. And it worked for me when I did this. There we go. Get rid of the selection. That has done a pretty reasonable job. And I'll just go and do a couple of the other ones, duplicating this. and in doing select, see how close to getting the exact same selection I can get. Right, what should we do? We'll do delete and fill. Yeah, we can see that's rubbish. And we can do, I'm not using content aware fill because I know it does a good job anyway, and I'm pretty sure it's doing a lot that's similar to the remove tool. Now, I'll just leave that as is. Yeah, normally one would go through here and remove these bits and see what we get. I'll just leave it like that. So we've got, well, we know that was crap, so that's off the list. What's the difference between add remove? What the hell's the name of the tool called again? Content aware fill. What's the difference between content aware fill and what I did before? That's content aware fill. That's what I did before. You'll see even content aware fill got a bit screwy in here. Yes, you could play around with how much where it's selecting from and all that sort of thing, but I found this select, then use the remove tool just inside the selection to be a far more reliable option. I get the distinct feeling that it's doing very much what, actually use content aware, what the content aware fill is using. So what I'll do is I'll try content aware fill. Oops, Daisy. Okay. Let's try content aware fill. Generative fill, I mean. That's what I mean. Content aware, generative fill. I forget the names of these things half the time. This is why I'm reasonably sure these two tools. Oh, there we go. Hadn't turned that off. Let's do that again in the same image. Yes, this may seem a bit disorganized, but it's a hot day and I'm wanting my brain is wanting to have a sleep. There. Generative fill. Dook. Let's see what it comes up with. It's done a slightly better job. excuse spelling if I spell these wrong. What was this one? Content aware. Also delete and fill. So if we were to position these by worst to best, worst, now that's generative fill. It's debatable as to which one did the better job there, but if you want to use generative fill but you don't want to use up your I don't know what they call them, full speed uses of generative fill, I reckon selecting and then using the remove tool is probably the best second option to something like that. It's the problem is the hair and the background. If we were removing, say, a piece of paper or something from the background here, or even probably this logo, it wouldn't probably matter. If I knock out all those, duplicate, say remove tool here. The reason I use this selection, yeah, see, this tool does a really good job. The reason I do a selection before using the remove tool in that situation is because in a sensitive one where you're trying to get you only want a handful of pixels. See, this doesn't matter, but in the hair up here, I only wanted just a bare minimum of pixels around that here, and trying to get that accurate with the brush can be a little bit tricky. See, again, we've got this problem where it's the way it's picked things up. And if we were to go to content aware, it might do better. It's not too bad. There's a bit of a weird wrinkle there. Obviously, in that last one, the remove tool did the best job. But again, this, it doesn't matter too much. But if I was to select closer to that design, that logo, or I didn't want to select too far into the hair, I only wanted a couple of pixels, or something like that, then selecting and brushing over it so far seems a better job on the whole. I'm not saying it's perfect every time, but in this case, it might have had a bit of problem with the wrinkle. But I can come down to here, possibly give it another go. See what we get. And go, is that okay? Well, yeah, it's pretty much okay. It took me 2 attempts on that occasion, but it's doing pretty much similar to what the generative fill is doing, more or less, but without using up my generative fill credits or whatever they call them. So, yeah, and that's something I haven't seen mentioned in other videos. So it's just an extra bonus idea of how you can use these tools. I think I might go and turn this into a before and after type setup, I think. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I did the live stream for. So I'll end the live stream now. But it's something to keep in mind is there are effectively 3, 4, 5 ways to use it, 2 of which are using the remove tool. One is without a selection, one is with a selection. And sometimes that can be the better option. So yeah, anyway, don't forget to subscribe.